So this is a big burner. I haven't done one of these videos before, but I thought I'd give you guys a little taste of what I deal with where I hunt. It's extremely flat, and there's often a lot of questions on the Beast regarding flat, you know, like or homogeneous, like type pine plantations or thickets, whatever you want to call them. And I wanted to give you a little rundown on how I kind of break these apart. Talk oftentimes about how a lot of bucks like to bed on the downwind sides, but that's kind of relative to the amount of structure that you have within these particular stands. You know, they really vary a lot in age class in terms of like if it's maybe a 3 or 4 year old type regen. This is older here. This is probably like 7 or 8 years old. And the younger ones, oftentimes when there's a lot of thick pine or thick brush, I like to focus on the tailing piles or the tops that the skidders had left in the middle of the clear cuts, and oftentimes like right on the edge of those, tucked up right up to them, you'll find beds on those little piles. So in this particular one, I just walked in here today. I haven't been in here in a while. This was sprayed actually with a herbicide called Arsenal, and it kills a lot of the hardwoods, but if you do it in a low dose, it'll save some of the oaks. So there's some scattered oaks in here, but you can kind of see what I'm dealing with in terms of like the thickness. It's a lot of stems per acre. But one interesting thing, I found some doe beds a little closer to the transition line where it butts up against the older trees there, but I came into this opening, and every time you see these openings, it really gets me excited because especially with these big greenbrier thickets, you guys can see this like dense briar in here. There's deer trails running all in and out of here, and I really get excited when you see these, because if I see any kind of buck sign around, if I see rubs, you know, or scrapes on the outer edge, there's really good odds that I'm going to run into a buck bed. So let's kind of take a little walk through here. I got a really good assumption that somewhere we're going to find something. I haven't seen a lot of rubs in here so far, but I saw one at the entrance of, you know, these multiple trails. You can see again how thick this area is, and these are the kind of areas that I really like to key in on as far as finding that bedding. Kind of moving through here. Have some brush caps on. It's really pretty gnarly in here. So we're kind of getting out of that area. You're kind of seeing it starting to open up, and we got some hardwoods. There's some oaks in here. We got a little ditch right here. There's a pretty heavy crossing there. Kind of walk around here a little bit. And there is, you come through this opening a little bit, and there is a heavy crossing through here on this little ditch. And right here, there you go, we have a rub. And we actually have a scrape there as well. So I'm going to kind of start meandering around this edge. I got to this outer edge of this thing here, and I like to walk these edges of these, and this is what we talk about. Like, we talk about internal structure, like within these homogeneous areas. So okay, I'm coming over here, and that is a really tore up little pine sapling. It's got all the branches broken off, and just keep kind of poking along here and starting to penetrate more on this edge on the downwind side. Oh, and there is the bed. There you go, right on the downwind edge of this thick brush, and there it is. See it all worn down. There's a big depression there. You got a tree on the back, and basically anything with a north wind, whatever's laying there has got a nice beat on it. So kind of hope that gives you a little bit of insight, because I know it's kind of frustrating getting these areas sometimes. I don't know if I'll necessarily hunt this in this area. If I do, it's obviously gonna have to be on the ground, But outside here on the transition, there's some larger trees. There's an ag field pretty close by, and just kind of keep an eye on it, decide my plan of attack from there. So thanks. All right.